Jay, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Tell everybody who you are and where you work and what you do.
I'm Jaye Majors. My business is Majors Accounting Innovations. I've been doing what I do for about 36 years, half of it in the corporate world, corporate controller, CFO, etc., and half of it in public accounting. And I marry both. I'm your controller for hire. I'm your profit and growth expert. That's what I want to be for your business all year long, not just at tax time. Because by tax time, a lot of times it's too late for me to save you or for you to save yourself. And just like Kathleen was saying, it's critical that you start out with a plan. It's critical that you work that plan just like anything else. Just like you would wear your clothing, as we have just heard. You have to have a plan for that. Well, you've got to have a plan for managing your finances, organization tools, etc. You need to have that in place.
You can't run a business, and I don't care if it's a direct sales business or if you're a doctor. I've talked to doctors, I've talked to lawyers that are in business for themselves and still trying to figure out how to run a business. You cannot have a business unless you're going to be willing to treat it like a business. And part of being a business owner doesn't just mean I'm good at selling weight loss products. Part of being a business owner doesn't mean I'm good at taking photos and doing photography. It's really saying I'm going to treat this like a business, and where I'm weak, I'm going to bring somebody else in that's going to be strong. And if that means a financial person, that's great. If that means it's a social media or a marketing expert, that's great. But you have to be able to assess your weaknesses and build your strengths to really reach your goals and become the person that you need to become. So with that being said, I want to back up for just a minute, because having taught marketing and business courses on a master's level, I know what a comptroller is. I know what a profit and loss expert is. There's a lot of people that are out there that aren't using QuickBooks, that don't have they don't know how to read reports. They don't know what a balance sheet is or an income statement is. So if somebody's watching and they don't know what a comptroller is, that's what I liked the most about you when I heard that, because if I could have somebody on staff right now that would be watching every dime that came in and out of our organization, that's like one of the best gifts that you can be given, because that's somebody that's going to be able to see things from a different perspective. We're passionate about things. We think we need to spend money on this marketing. We think we need to purchase this equipment because we're passionate about it, not logical about it always. So what is a comptroller?
Well, the comptroller is the person who helps you get everything in line. The comptroller is the person who keeps the three balls in your business: the marketing, the production, and the finance all together. And the finance kind of controls it all. We watch where you're spending your money, where you're throwing away your money. Why aren't you hitting your sales goals and your sales targets? Are you spending too much on a certain particular item? Should you buy a new item instead? Should you seek financing? Well, you can't even seek financing if you don't have good profit and loss and balance sheet. Critical areas you need to look at, and every month, if you have a real business and you want to have a real business that's going to make money, support you, your children, etc., every month you need to be analyzing your balance sheet and your profit and loss statement to see where you're going, what are your trends, month over month, quarter over quarter, year over year, to see what's happening in your business and what's changing in your industry. But beyond that, you have to be keeping track of accounts receivable. Who owes you money? Mm-hmm. How much do they owe you? How long have they owed it to you? No wonder you can't pay your bills. Your receivables are 90 days old. You've got to get on top of collection. Who do you owe? That's your accounts payable. Mm-hmm. When did you buy that? Why haven't you paid them? Well, what happened to the money? Well, I used it on these personal expenses. Whoa, is this a business or is this a hobby? Mm-hmm. Keep the business as a business. Run it like a business. And that gets to the bank account. Reconcile that bank account every month.
I reconciled last month already. Are you proud of me?
Yay!
And there was a holiday on Monday. I'm pretty proud.
And how much money did you find? If you're not reconciling your bank account, you don't know how much is going out on needless stuff, or if there's fraud going on. Mm-hmm. And your credit cards as well. You need to be reconciling your credit cards, and you need a separate bank account and a separate credit card for the business and for your personal, and never the twain shall meet.
Okay, I'm going to stop
Yeah.
you for just a second because I know that there are some people that are out there right now having heart palpitations saying, I'm just trying to make money and keep my business going. I don't know how to keep it separate. And I think that's why I was so excited about having you on this segment because, you know, most members that I do assessments with, what I find out is they're running their business with the goal that I'm going to make this much this year and I'm going to do these things. And they're running their business and they're running their business. It's sometimes a part-time hobby. It's sometimes a part-time business. It's sometimes I like the flexibility of being able to keep my family a priority, and God bless you. I think that's fantastic. But if you're just meeting with an accountant once a year and you're just getting through your taxes, you're probably not being coached on, okay, these are the decisions that you're making. And if you choose to make those decisions and keep it a hobby, good for you, but don't expect these results a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. If you're choosing not to make this a business and you're really going to look at me in July and you're going to say, I want to make this happen by the end of the year, a true financial person is going to be able to say, these are the things that you have to do. You have to make this happen. And just yesterday, I had an assessment with somebody that wanted to increase her income to $1,500. She admitted that she was only working about 10, 15 hours a week. And I've done enough assessments to tell you that if she says 10 or 15, that probably means 8 to 10. You know, that's just the reality of it. And in talking to her, the reality came to fruition that she only wanted to be able, she only could work because she only had a babysitter 2 nights a week. Now, honestly, if you crunch those numbers, it's going to be really hard to make $1,500 2 nights a week if you're working 8 to 10 hours a month. You know, if it's too good to be true, it often is. Wouldn't you agree with that? That you have to be real with your income, your expenses, your cost of goods, and everything that you're doing in order to determine your bottom line. And what happens when somebody isn't being real with those numbers and they're not being real with keeping track of their finances?
Well, first of all, they're never going to be able to get anywhere. The key is planning and effective and efficient executing of your plans, but you've got to have the information and the numbers behind that. You can do it, but if you're going to go on a razor-thin plan, then your numbers have to be that much closer carved, and you have to stay on top of them that much more. So either you've got to get somebody to help you with that, or you've got to plan a little time to actually look at those numbers. People who don't, you are never going to get anywhere. It's like when you sit down at your computer, how many hours do you spend Facebooking versus really doing work? All right, the same thing in the numbers themselves. What are they really doing for you? What is the return on the investment you're making? What investment are you willing to make? Have you decided where you need to target your investment? What dollars are you going to spend, either in marketing? Do you need to ramp up some tools? Tools are critical, for example, for a photographer or for an electrical contractor. Maybe you're a service business, you don't need as many tools, but you need the hours and the time in the day. So you've got to determine what it is you need, and the places and the numbers. The numbers are going to get you where you need to go, whatever you're doing. And I find this a total failure to plan, and then when you do get a plan, the plan needs to be a good plan, failure to take action if you don't act on it. If you're looking at your numbers and saying, well, why aren't they as good as they were last year? Well, what happened this year over last year? Was it something in your industry, or was it a failure on your part? Did you even bother looking? Is the only thing you did for your accounting throw everything at your tax person and have him throw you back some pieces of paper at the end of the year? It's not enough if you want to have a real business.
You know, and I can tell you that and I wasn't doing accounting two years ago. Okay, 2 years ago somebody else was doing accounting. I had an accountant, but somebody else was doing the bookkeeping and giving everything to my accountant. And since I started taking over it, really looking at the numbers in the reports that I'm pulling and the numbers in the reports that they're giving me has really taught me a lot as a business owner, because it's like, wait, why don't these two things match up? They should. So I look back in how many years, in 30 years that Jeff and I have been in business, how many years were maybe the reports not accurate or matching up because you're just kind of trusting. It's not your forte, so you're just kind of trusting somebody else to know your business as well as you do and to do it right. I think that's critical, and you can make a vital error in your business, but also be spending money in places you don't need to be spending money.
Well, here's where I really get shocked, or I don't really get so shocked so much anymore, and any banker is going to tell you. If you have a set of financials and the numbers say one thing, and that tax return that that tax guy did for you says something else, that banker is going to look at you like you're a nutcase, especially if you can't explain anything to them about what those numbers are. And the bottom line is, do you know what that tax person did to you? Do you know how much you could have saved on taxes had he gotten the right answers from you? Had he taken the time to get to know you and your business? Had you taken the time all year long to sit with him to get the proper advice on the type of expenditures that you have? What's deductible, what's not, what you can use, and the things that are going to get you in trouble, not only in your profit picture, but with the tax man.
Mm-hmm. And let's talk about that for just a minute, because I think the profit picture is very important. Like, it's not just about running your business and knowing I can write this off, I can write that off, I can write that off, because often what people will do is they'll shove everything towards expenses. It'll lower their net income, it'll lower their bottom line, and it'll make it look as though you don't have as much equity. But if you would have chose to take member's draw or owner's draw instead of writing it off, you could be in a better, more sounder financial situation where you're actually able to get the equity on the loan that you need for the equipment that you need or the employee that you need to be able to double your income revenue and make more money. So those are smart decisions that you really have to talk to somebody that's able to coach you through this and help you make it happen. And we've got a lot of amazing CPAs, and I haven't done assessments with all of you, so if you're a CPA and I haven't met with you and talked to you, please reach out and schedule your business assessment with WOAMTEC Corporate, because I want to know more of you that are out there that get this, that aren't just processing paperwork, that aren't just taking a look at what the receipts that people hand them at the end of the year and saying, okay, let's just throw these numbers into this form and take care of as many clients as we possibly can. I am looking to connect with CPAs that are going to look at their clients, that are going to coach them through how to have financial success, how to be honest with the goals that they want in their life and in their business, and how to reach those goals by either cutting back their expenses, increasing their income, or being true with their financial status. And I think that you're helping people do that. And I know you're going to be giving away a prize to, what did you say, 5 people?
The first 5 people that call, you will get a half-an-hour consultation with me. Email me the first 5 emails I get, and it'll be the most critical questions that you have, the things that are upsetting you the most with running your finances and running your business. How can I help you in 30 minutes?
Okay, I think that's awesome. Now, how do they reach you? How do they call you? How do they email you? How do they connect?
With my email.
Okay, so what's your email address?
JAYEM723 @AOL.com.
Okay.